Hi. Welcome to this is kind of a special episode.
We haven't even.
If you're wondering why I'm the host, it's because
This guy's an idiot.
it's doing a Deltarune episode today, so I have to do it now because if I don't do it now, it'll be outdated.
What a soft
No.
introduction to this.
Let's.
I know.
Do you guys
very
want to hear the
casual.
actual reason why?
That
he's
is
the
very
host?
well. And
His
because-
actual reason why is because he forgot to. This isn't his episode.
yeah. Well, and either way, I remember thinking I'm going to suggest we do that, and then I forgot to ask that. So, really, I just made two mistakes. That's it.
To
Only
be
two.
fair, yesterday, because Hunter texted me asking about like his topic or whatever, and before that, I
Yeah.
actually did think it was your episode too.
I think it's because at the end of the last episode, I said, okay, next episode is going to be my Deltarune recap. Because I thought
Yeah.
that, and then everyone was like, oh, yeah. And then I guess whatever. It's okay. But it's, I think we would have done this anyway if we had talked about it beforehand because it's important, at least to me. This is the most important video game to me. So I'm excited to talk about it. I haven't got to talk about it enough on the podcast. But we have a small talk first. But Hunter has a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Doom. You got
What
a
you
lot of
guys?
Doom talk going
Well, if
on.
you guys have anything small, I'll talk about. it afterwards.
I decorated my basement for Deltarune Day. I got hanging lanterns. We have my siblings. I made a big theory board. We got a karaoke machine so we can have like microphones and have a speaker so like we can do like our speeches. We have a in memoriam of Spamton. We have like a little like picture frame, like he's in black and white. It says like in memoriam on it because he died.
Your celebration of this game makes me so excited for when Silk Song comes
Right.
out because that's like my version.
Yeah,
of
you need
this.
to like do the same. You need to get the lanterns and you need to
Right.
make them
Yes.
red because I made my Deltarune colors. You gotta make them like red and
Except
white.
for the fact that I'll be by myself.
Yeah,
But,
who
you know,
cares?
Yeah, I'll be spending. When Silk Song comes out, it's going to be like I never existed.
Yeah,
Like,
it's gonna be
you're
like-
not going to know where I am, what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna know where Austin is because I
Yeah.
have him on. I have
Because you're
him
gonna be
on.
locked in my trunk.
What?
Yeah.
Trunk.
Of
Oh
my
yeah,
car.
I forgot they were called trunks for some reason.
I
I
have
was
a-
thinking of an elephant's trunk. I was like, you have a trunk?
Yeah, I
Mold-
got a little trunk that is,
Moldy toes.
Moldy toes. Yeah, what did that mean?
That's his Discord.
Oh,
yeah.
I
Well, it's
was-
my Discord and my Steam.
I was wondering about that.
I got on Discord. Or I got on Discord to like check things because it randomly opens most of the time.
Uh-huh.
But I was checking it, and I just see moldy toes. I'm like, who the heck is this?
Yeah.
I'm like Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm like,
Oh, I know who that is.
and then I scrolled over there and I'm like, yep, it's Bash.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, I just in the group chat, Hunter just said moldy toes,
And then Austin sent a wave.
and Austin was like, "Hi," and then I was like, "Help!" I had no clue what was going on.
Yeah, no, it's my Steam name. I made it a few years ago with my Steam name. I'm just gonna dox myself here. It's Taste My Moldy Toes.
That's a good
Steam.
name.
Weirda.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good. I feel like that was made at a different time in your life, but
It was, yes.
but it's still pretty good.
It was kept at this time in my life.
True.
So-
Yeah, you chose not to change
Yes,
it.
Exactly.
So
Okay.
Excuse me.
we're all just staring at Hunter now.
Oh, I didn't know if it was my turn.
It is
yet.
your
Yeah,
turn.
go ahead, man.
So,
No, I'm kidding.
the first thing that I want to talk about, or the first thing, is that he's a dragon, and this is what he looks like.
Okay.
Who's a dragon?
Doomslayer has a dragon.
Oh, he has.
What's the dragon's name?
He
You get to
has a
name it.
dragon. No, it's just dragon. Yeah,
That's a name.
it's. I
How
don't-
to train your dragon.
How did he train his
Yeah.
dragon?
How did you
Uh,
train to your dragon?
I think he just like made him his. I can't say the word. Because the
His-
only
his
person
dragon.
Oh yeah.
the only person the dragon listens to is him. And
Dragon
then
I was about to say that. I was about to say that.
Sorry, go ahead.
he speaks. Doomslayer speaks for the second time as the Doomslayer because he used to be Doom Guy in the original games, and then he becomes the Doomslayer in like Dark Ages and Eternal and stuff like that. But he speaks in Eternal, so technically it's the first time he speaks because this game's a prequel.
Yes.
So this
Okay.
so this is the first. This is the second time in a game that he speaks as Doomslayer, but the first time in actuality that he speaks.
And is that who you went as for Halloween one time, or it was Master Chief, right?
Master
and
Chief,
that's
yeah.
from Halo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at me,
Gamer knowledge.
gamer knowledge.
Gamer knowledge.
I'm a true gamer now.
And what he tells is a guy named King Novik to run before trying to kill Prince Azrak
Ooh.
with a blast from a cannon on a giant robot.
Okay, this game just sounds insane to me.
It's so cool. This
I have
isn't
no clue
this
what's
isn't even
happening.
this isn't even breaking the surface yet either.
Yeah.
And so there's this character named Princess Thera, which is King Novik's son. or daughter, son. Gosh, my brain is. and she gets taken by like a giant tentacle through a portal because she's in a building, but it wraps around like the building and goes through the portal and stuff.
Hey,
The
yo.
Doomslayer tries to the Doomslayer tries to go through the portal, with her, but he can't. And also the reason why she was taken is because she has like this power, which is the reason why.
Sure.
No, yeah.
That's why
No,
she-
she has like some power that can like.
Power of attractiveness.
I
Yeah.
don't know how to explain it.
Haven't seen her yet. We're both just simping for her.
There's this thing called the heart, and if you have the heart and you have the power that she has, you can become like really really strong, which will be later on. I'll talk about.
Okay.
That. The Doomslayer frees Cthulhu from like an egg-like prison thingy.
Cthulhu is Cthulhu public domain?
Yeah, I would
I
assume
think
so.
so
Yeah.
because it's there's certain rules.
Also,
about,
Lovecraftian is just
however
dead.
long after it's copyrighted, it becomes public domain.
Right,
Also, I
right.
think-
So in
But
Lovecraftian
Can't
stuff,
they
it's really
renew it?
old.
Like, can't they renew the copyright?
He's dead
Yeah,
for a
if
long.
they're
He's
not
been
alive,
dead
I
for a
don't
long
think
time.
so.
Like
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember. that.
But so
Well,
you.
Walt Disney's Frozen, but
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Anyway,
Well, I mean, it's
yeah,
technicality.
Yeah.
You free Cthulhu
Mhm.
from like an egg-like prison thingy. I don't know how to explain it.
Mhm.
And then you jump on his back, and like because you have like this sword, you have this like saw shield, like this shield
Oh,
with
yeah.
like saw blades
I
on
remember
it.
that.
And you jump on his back and you stab it through him, and he goes through the portal. And this is where you guys are gonna really hate the game,
Why?
like you guys, because it's like a water area, like it's really big water area. It's worse than Subnautica. And I'm
Subnautica's all water.
no, like everything is multiple times bigger than you are.
oh,
Like there is like there is sea grass that is like probably the size of this building.
Oh, is
That
it like?
sounds pretty
Is it,
cool,
yeah, that
though.
sounds cool. Is it
Yeah.
scary?
Well, it's not not scary to me. Well, technically, it kind of was pretty scary.
That's cool though.
But I think you guys would be scared of it. I mean, I'm sure you guys would like it, but I'm sure you guys would be scared.
Yeah,
of
I
it.
always feel like I wish Subnautica like had bigger creature. Like the Leviathan, like the biggest creature isn't even that scary to me.
Yeah.
It loses its effect after you see it.
The games will always be just scary to
Once
me.
I
'cause, like,
think, for me at least. I don't know.
yeah. And then he goes around collecting things to summon Cthulhu again. And then he gets swallowed by Cthulhu.
Oh.
And then goes into his belly and then destroys an organ. It looks like a brain, which is very confusing. I don't understand why it looks like a brain.
Maybe. Well, I mean,
It's
does
in his
Cthulhu
tummy.
Follow regular normal human
Yeah, true.
I don't know.
It's also
truths.
true.
Yeah. And so all of these events have happened. How far along in the game is that? Like,
Think like chapter 11, 12.
okay.
maybe? I don't know.
I thought you were gonna be like, yeah, that's like the third chapter. Like everything. This
It's
is
like
all,
the first.
I don't know
hour.
Yeah, like,
I
oh
don't
my
know
gosh.
exactly how. I don't remember the exact chapter number
Right.
because there's like 22 chapters and I don't remember exactly everything that happens.
Right. I mean, how could you?
Yeah. There's so much that goes on in this
Mhm.
game.
It's not like I remember every little
Um,
detail about other games I play.
Also, I just want to say, I've been listening to Distractable, and they had a sponsor by Doom the Dark Ages. I think it's funny that we're not sponsored by Doom the Dark Ages, but we're getting an entire recap.
Yeah,
where,
true.
You know,
Because I just love
please,
this game
they
so
sponsor
much.
us.
Sponsor
right
us,
now.
I
right
love
now.
this game so much.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I also have compliments like complaints later after all this stuff. The Doomslayer goes to save Princess Thera, and as I mentioned, she has like that power thing. It like taps him as he tries to like go grab her, and then like this like electricity type thing goes like through his veins, and Prince Azrak comes in with a witch and this guy named the Creed Maker, which is like
Assassin's
the
Creed.
good guy. Like he's type of good guy. I don't know how to explain him. He's like a villain, but he's also like supposed to be
Like
good.
kind of like a vigilante almost, like
No.
Batman. Like Batman's a
No,
good guy, but
I
he's
wouldn't
bad.
say he's
Hero?
I wouldn't say. I don't know how to explain him. He's like this really big guy.
Oh, that helps.
The thing is,
Oh.
I don't know how to explain what kind of character he is.
Like morally gray.
Is he gonna live for himself?
Yeah, he's kind of out for himself.
Kind of, yeah. He's out. He's more out for his like species called the Makers.
Okay.
Like
'Cause-
Markiplier.
yeah.
This is the first thing I could think
But
of.
yeah.
Markers.
Yeah, the markers.
But he's kind of out for them, like to protect them, but he's also kind of like protecting humanity, also known as the Sentinels and stuff like that.
SS?
Because he sends Doomguy to help them and stuff like that, or Doomslayer to help them and stuff. But
This
he would
sounds like
rather
an anime.
he would rather have Doomslayer at their place to protect them. And the reason why I'm saying he's not a good guy, but he's also like he's not entirely bad, is because he tells Prince Azrak to kill the Doomslayer.
Oh.
And before
Isn't he like one of those powerful characters ever?
who?
Oh, I'm thinking of the Doom guy, right?
Doomslayer. Well, Doomguy, Doomslayer is the same person. But the witch that I mentioned, like does this one thing and like shoots the core of Thera's powers into like that little heart thing I was talking about, and then Azrak puts it into his like chest or whatever, and he becomes like powerful and stuff like that. And then he takes off. I think this is before, but he takes off the helmet of the Doomslayer, slaps him across, like hits him across the face with it because the Doom guy can't do anything because the electricity type thing is going through his body and he can't like control it or whatever.
Wow.
And then we see him on a platform surrounded by 3 Cthulhus.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no,
Like
three
that,
of them.
they have like a force field over him, right?
I just love imagining all this in my head,
Yeah.
having
And
no clue what
by
it's
the
like.
way, the Cthulhu that I talked about earlier is not dead.
It's like me.
I
the
thought he
last
was.
episode.
I thought he was also dead. No, that's different. It's the same guy. It's the same Cthulhu. It's just he isn't
Also,
dead.
can you tell me what's the Doomslayer's like motives in the game? Like,
He hates hell. I think.
Me too.
why
I
does
think.
he hate it so bad?
I-
I mean, more than the. Usual.
I don't remember exactly, but from what I've heard, apparently his bunny died.
His bunny.
Yeah.
Wait, what? What?
Like in the original Doom, like apparently in the original Doom games, his bunny died or whatever, and that's why he like.
And the bunny went to
go-
hell.
Average reaction.
And he went to go,
your
like,
bunny dying.
Yeah,
he went to fight the
exactly.
demons. Don't quote me on that because I don't know everything about the Doom lore, but that's from what I've heard.
Doom is literally the plot of D and Die, except it like
He-
it actually
Good.
goes well because he
Yeah.
infiltrates hell and like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, it doesn't get obliterated. And like.
But yeah, he just becomes uberly powerful, and then as he's standing in on the platform, there's the 3 Cthulhus are like shooting down like this thing that's making a huge force field around him,
Right.
and he tries to like destroy it with the shield saw that I mentioned, but he can't.
Oh no.
So he takes out this reactor thing that's in his chest, and then just whoosh, and then it
Like Tony
blows up.
Stark?
Kind of.
Mhm.
But it blows up and kills the 3 Cthulhus. That's what I'm pretty sure happens.
Cthulhu is really powerful.
It's more of just a species of them.
I see.
But he like takes out the reactor and it blows up. I'm pretty sure it kills them, but I'm not 100% sure. And then he falls down into like a pit type thing, and then he dies, and then goes to his soul is sent to hell, and he becomes a zombie. It's really cool. He gets resurrected.
Oh, that didn't last long.
Yeah, literally, it takes one chapter and he gets resurrected, or whatever. I think it's 2 chapters, maybe. But he gets resurrected. He comes back. He goes to the Maker ship, fights the Creed Maker,
Are there boss
kills
fights?
him.
Is that boss fight? Is there
Yeah.
boss fights?
There's a lot of boss fights.
Are they good?
I'll talk about this later. Oh, yes, they're really good. They're really cool, too. Parrying is actually really fun in that game, because you get, like, different, like, things that happens whenever you parry.
I
And
love
then...
parry mechanics.
Then he goes back to the Sentinels, which are the humans, and then he goes to fight the amped up version of Prince Azrak, but he has because he's mad, he's really angry. But he has to get into he has to get back into the robot, but this time it's a different robot. It's called the Royal Atlan. I'll send you pictures of all this stuff that
Okay.
so you can put it up on the screen. But he has to destroy like these like generator things, like these hell generators, before he can go fight Azrak. And then Azrak sends out the Cthulhu that you fought earlier, but it's like because it's like mind controlled or whatever, and you're like fist fighting the guy, and it's
Right.
really cool. And then you take his head and
Like
you
you did
rip
to
it.
me.
Yeah.
Or tried
Well, I
to.
tried
at least.
to 3 times. Ripped off, and then he rips off his head and then throws it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And then he gets out of the robot to go fight Azrak. And then I'm not gonna explain the phases because like he kind of just does the same thing every single phase. He kind of runs at you with like a sword and hits you and stuff like that. And then during the second phase, your dragon comes back down and like tries to attacks Azrak, but Azrak runs at him, stabs him through the neck, but the Doomslayer's like knocked down during this too. But the Doomslayer sees this and he gets really, really mad.
Okay, did he kill the dragon?
That he killed the dragon, yeah.
Have you beaten this game yet, by the way?
Yeah, I beat this game this morning, technically.
Oh, okay.
At 1:00. What? And he takes the thing out of his chest, gives it to Novik, and then the ship gets blown up that he was on. Then that huge explosion, since Thera is coming back down, the explosion happens, and then Azrak goes back to hell. And then again, Thera's down there. King Novik opens up the thing, or technically the thing opens up itself, and then the core goes back into Thera, and then Thera opens a portal to hell.
Oh wow!
So then, they fight off the demons and stuff like that. The Sentinels and Thera goes to fight off the demons, and she has this really cool power where like she like sticks her arm down like a tentacle type thing, like stabs through demons and stuff. It's really cool.
There's so much to keep track of.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Keep going. You got this.
But they're fighting off the demons. So then, or some of the demons. So, Doomslayer can go fight Azrak again, and then the witch at the same time. But he goes through all the area, goes to fight him. He kills the witch, and then he continues to fight Azrak. Azrak says, "If you kill me, the war will never stop because I control the Horde." Something like that.
Is he like the main villain then?
He's the main villain. I actually had him as main bad guy, but I'm just going to change his name to his actual name. And then the witch isn't actually dead. She comes back.
The Witch of Islip.
You kill her again, and then as soon as she like dies, she blows up the part of the ship that she's in. Because like the part of the ship was like exposed, and she goes into the ship, and then you like throw the shield, cuts her in half. She blows up. The ship goes down. And you just smash Azrak's head, like neck, with a flail. And then you go back to where the Sentinels and Thera are, and then you just throw his head in front of the demons, and they all run away. And then Doomslayer goes right back to the Creed ship, and then to commandeer it.
The end.
And then that's the end of it.
Okay, we made it.
And my complaints of the game are that the dragon sections are cool, but the dodging is kind of annoying.
Like the Batmobile.
Yeah, the dodging is a little annoying, but that could just be me, that I just don't like the dodging much. And that the Doom, it's not just this game, but a lot of the Doom games and a lot of other games do this, where they make like enemies that you fight as bosses, or like boss type enemies, like mini bosses, they just keep bringing them back as like normal enemies.
Dark Souls was big with that.
And it gets kind of tiring at some point because you're sitting there fighting the same thing over and over again.
Also did that a lot.
Yeah.
But,
oh wow.
Interesting.
Yay. We're done with that.
Anything else?
One more small thing.
All right.
This reminded me. Elden Ring, Night Ring.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Night Ring came out, and so from what I've heard it's pretty mediocre. Like, it's good, but it's nothing to write home about.
I tuned into one of Penguin's Zero streams for like 5 seconds and saw that he was fighting Gaping Dragon, and I was like, oh, so they're bringing back other bosses?
Yeah, so it's...
Oh, yeah.
How it works is you kind of go through with your friends and fight just Elden Ring bosses. And
is Gaping Dragon in Elden Ring?
No.
I guess not. Yeah,
it's bosses from all the games.
Whoa, that's cool.
That is pretty cool, actually. Because
they brought back.
I can't even. But once you get through like 2 cycles, like 2 days of fighting the bosses or whatever, you get to fight like they're called Night Lords or whatever. Like, they're actual new bosses. But according to Charlie, most of them are pretty bad. So,
yeah.
I can't say his name.
Yeah. Oh, it's his spoiler. I do plan on playing those games.
Yeah, so yeah, I heard it's pretty the only thing the main reason I wouldn't get the game myself is because, and Charlie pointed this out and it was really stupid, is that
There's
there's
no
no
duos.
there's no duos.
I want to play it.
There's
no cross-platform
single player and trios.
No duos.
No duos.
Why?
Like
That's
I
so
guess
odd.
Stupid.
Like
Maybe that's gonna be an update,
Well,
a $20 update.
yeah.
The thing,
$20 DLC.
the thing is that no, because they're
I know,
not
I'm just
like
making
that.
a joke.
That's the thing I do like about this game that I've heard is that there's no like in-game like cosmetics or well, there's cosmetics, but I don't think that you have to pay for them.
Oh, good.
And there's no microtransactions, is what I should say.
Dude, that's good.
And what else? It's the only thing that sucks is that it's not cross-platform and that there's no duos.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that the reason why there's no cross-platform is because remember this is like the first multiplayer game that FromSoft has ever worked on, and they just started
Yeah.
working on it like the end of last year. It's like
I'm just hoping that this game is a stepping stone into better.
Yeah, it's almost like they were kind of
further-
testing out
Yeah,
what they could
so
do, right?
Hopefully.
Maybe Duskbloods will give us something like that.
Yeah, true. Maybe.
Maybe.
I forgot about that game.
I know I did too.
Excited for
Until,
that.
yeah.
Okay, I think that's it.
Okay,
yeah.
now it's time for my big episode. So again, like this is one I've been waiting to do for a while. And my siblings and I have not stopped talking about it for weeks because obviously like this is our big game at home, and you guys have played it. You guys have played Deltarune. You played it with me.
I guess I will say, which I should have said before the Doom recap, but spoilers. If you haven't played
yeah.
the game, if you haven't played either of these games,
I forgot to say
if you
that,
just
my bad.
skipped the Doom recap and you're like, oh man, thank gosh, I can finally. Well, if you want to play Deltarune, just don't want to even watch this episode.
Yeah.
Just this
Well,
is
and
for
I'll,
people
well,
that.
I'll also say Deltarune has been out for. The chapters 1 and 2 went out for 3 years. At this point, I feel like if you're listening to a Deltarune episode, then
You
also
probably
you should put tags. If you put tags on this episode, like hashtag Deltarune, hashtag Spamton,
You
all
should
that
have been
stuff.
doing that for a while,
Then
honestly.
right,
Yeah, I
it'll
know.
probably appear because this is a
Or
hot
does-
topic right now.
Does YouTube and Spotify have hashtags?
Yeah, just put them in
YouTube-
the video
yeah.
description. Just put
We
like,
could have had them like for a long
Do those
time.
actually link to stuff? And
Yeah.
well, they put it in the feed, like they'll put it in people's feeds. Like if they're like if I watch a bunch of Deltarune content, I get like hashtag Deltarune videos all the time, right?
Oh, yeah, there's,
Maybe I should actually start like doing stuff.
Maybe we'll get some more
Yeah,
viewers.
you
Yeah.
probably should have. We probably should have been
Yeah.
doing
Yeah,
this
it's
from the very
okay.
beginning.
All right. So the first thing I have on here, I have a few things listed on here is I want to know what you guys remembered. So like I know it's been a while, but I want you guys to tell me what you guys remember
The
from the
main
game.
thing I remember, the thing that sticks out the most in my
Chess.
mind, is the
Like-
Chris person, whatever. At the end of when we played,
Yep.
like had like a knife or something, and then like turned evil or something.
Well, that's at the end of the first chapter,
right.
and at the end of the second chapter, they open up a dark world.
We got to that part, right?
Yes,
Okay.
we had to rush it because you guys had to leave. I don't remember that, but
Yeah.
so the thing in what did you say? You said something.
Huh?
I
Never
remember
mind.
they were in like a school or something, and then they went through like the
Oh, yeah.
secret portal or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah. So there's these things called the world of the game. There's these dark worlds, and the dark worlds are where like the characters go in. The people in the real world are called the Lighteners, and the people in the dark world, which is like Lancer or Alsafe, remember any of them? They're the Darkeners,
Yeah.
and they live in harmony or whatever. There's a whole legend. It doesn't matter. And so we learn at the end of chapter 2, and we hear hints about it in chapter 1, that there's this character called the Roaring Knight that had been going around the light world and making these dark fountains, right?
Right.
So the reason that they had been like that there was a secret world in the supply closet and in the computer lab for chapter 2 was because there's a vigilante who's been going around and making these dark fountains, right? And so the whole internet has been in a hunt to find out which of the Lighteners is the Roaring Knight.
And the fountains are the portals.
Yeah, the fountains are they're called the Dark Fountains.
Okay.
Which if you like the odd naming things to me make sense because if you remember this game Kinetobi in a dream, so
Yeah.
like in dreams not much makes sense. So if it was called like a fountain in his dream, I guess it just makes sense to him, even though it's kind of
Right.
weird to us. But yeah, that's a side thing. Yeah, so that's what's the Dark Fountains, and the night. I'm trying to think of it as much. Most of the characters in the light world matter more, you know, like the real people because they're like having character arcs and going
Like
through
Chris,
progression.
and who's the one with the purple hair?
That's Susie, and you voiced her.
Yeah,
and
that was my favorite.
yeah,
character.
she's really fun.
Yeah.
She's like kind of she goes through a little awkward like she like just like wants to fight everything and she's kind of like so there's a lot of theories about her that like because we never hear about her parents in the game. Like
Right.
whenever she's staying over at Chris's house, Toriel asks her to call her parents, and she just doesn't do that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of theories about like if she's like maybe like homeless or just so there's a lot to think about that.
Yeah. Maybe after you and your siblings have played, we might have to do a sequel hangout.
I think so. I
Yeah.
think that as I start to talk about it more, you'll remember why it was so.
I'm already starting to remember a lot.
Yeah.
About it.
So yeah. Another thing that has so the Dark Worlds ultimately in the grand scheme of like the plot of the game don't matter all that much because like even though the bulk of the chapters take place in the Dark Worlds, the plot in the Dark Worlds is all self-contained. Okay. So like everything with Queen, you remember Queen obviously, right? I think right here. She's blue, and you were simping over the entire chapter, and I voiced her, and it was really fun. She's my favorite character, and she has this whole thing where like she went to like, she has a whole plot about she went to the Lightners to like help her. Okay, I should explain first. I don't know if you remember this either, but and the Dark Worlds are created in like one room. So imagine that someone creates a Dark World in this room. They stab the earth, make a fountain. Then all of the inanimate objects in this room would become the Darkeners in the Dark World. Right. So like in the first Dark World, there were all like the playing card themed characters. Like there were because in that room there were all the playing cards all over the floor. Right. So that's kind of how the Dark Worlds work. Okay. And that's people have been theorized by Chapter 3 because Chris opens a Dark World in their own home. So people have been making fan art of like their own ideas for what characters, what objects are going to become characters in the new fountains. Yeah. So it's a whole thing. Now there's a few things a few theories I wanted to talk about because you guys haven't been as keen to it as I have, but the community, and you probably know this because Silksong, when you don't have a game for so long, you kind of start to the community kind of starts to go a little bit awry. Yeah. So the community's dubbed these theories as crack theories because they're just so insane. Yeah. That I want to share a few with you. So and the recap, I'll keep recapping as we go so you remember some things. But the big one that actually isn't that crazy is called chess theory. So in the first chapter, the final boss of the first chapter is the king. You probably don't remember that because he's kind of insignificant. But he has like a chain he throws out and he's Lancer's dad. Okay. And then chapter 2 obviously is the queen. And people think that each chapter is going to go in descending order of chess pieces because they don't really have a reason to be called king and queen and stuff, right? So chapter 4 we know is going to be a church-themed Dark World because we saw in the trailers. So a bishop, right? Okay. And then in chapter 3, people have found out
the Western would be the knight with the horse.
Well, the knight, the roaring knight.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So people think, yeah, right.
The roaring 20s.
And then yeah, and people think that the pawns are going to be like representative of like the characters because they're like being manipulated. Okay. And something else people pointed out that I think is really, really cool is that if you take everyone's favorite scientist, Dr. W.D. Gaster, and you take the G and the Aster and you put in R-A-N-D-M in the middle of those, you get Grandmaster. Like he's the chess grandmaster of like
this is a good. This isn't like that insane. I think
it's not. Well,
this has a lot of reasoning to it.
Right. Just you wait.
It's pretty good.
But yeah, I love Deltarune theories because like we know so little about the game that you really anything could be possible, and that's going to change in a little bit because we're going to have more than half the game. So it's kind of sad we're not going to have as many crazy theories anymore. Right. This is about as unhinged as the fan base is going to get.
Also, I forget. Are these next chapters? Is the game done after that?
There's 3 and 4. Then there's 5, 6. There's 7. Going to be 7 chapters. Okay. We think Toby's never.
There's still going to be a ton of theories after this.
Well, yeah, but we're going to have more of the game, so there's going to be less to go crazy about, right? So 5, 6, and 7 are. The people think there's going to be 7 chapters because that's how many there are at like the title screen. But Toby has never said 7 chapters. He's always just said future chapters. And the people have found in the files evidence of there being like a chapter 0 and a chapter 8. And people don't know if there's placeholders or if there's actually going to be like bonus chapters. Mystery. I should also tell you guys this. Tomorrow on Twitter, I know. Yeah. Shocking all Twitter. Boo. I'm excited because I never got to experience this before because I haven't been in the fan base for a new chapter. But tomorrow at 11 o'clock, Gaster is going to take over Toby Fox's Twitter and start posting. He does that every year. Wow. Every time there's a new chapter, and it's really cool, and I'm really excited to see it. My siblings and I are going to be at glued to our screens all day, like scrolling, looking on Twitter at the Gaster posts. So that's going to be fun, but either way.
I can't wait for him to say, I am the Grandmaster.
Yeah. No. You're in trouble, you see, trying to tussle with the WD. Anyway, so there's a theory that you've heard about because you talked about the Western things that I wanted to talk about here. And I have some more after this to talk about, but this is probably the most insane fan theory, but it's my favorite because it's created a lot of buzz and a lot of like fan characters
and of any theories.
I think of any theories, but especially for Deltarune. I should say to preface this, if you remember the secret bosses in every chapter that Austin can never beat.
Yeah. That was so infuriating.
I know. That's probably why you got turned off from it too.
Because they were always so fun, but like they were so hard.
Yeah, the music's good.
Yeah.
So Jevil, in his light world form, is a Joker playing card that got like discarded and thrown out, right? And Spamton is a spam email.
Right.
So because he spams you a ton, right? So the idea is that the secret bosses are like representative of like something in that area of the light world that got discarded or thrown out, basically just forgotten about. Which, remember, the main theme of the game is don't forget, so that's kind of a theme. And so here's what I like to call, and what the internet has dubbed, Woody theory. Woody from Toy Story.
Okay.
So, okay, I wrote this all. This theory changed the fan base forever. No one was ever the same after this. Okay, so this guy, Spooky Dude, noticed something odd in one of Toby Fox's newsletters, because he has these newsletters he posts every so often. In the newsletter, Toby talks about a cowboy section which had recently been teased. However, he had this to say about it. This segment is in danger of being canceled. Seriously? One of the only segments that we teased may have canceled? Well, that's just how cowboy shows go, I guess. And so, like, to the lay person, that means, oh, we're not getting the cowboy part. We all thought, darn. But this guy noticed that the wording was very strange. Why would he say canceled, right? And why would Toby not know? Like, why would he say it's in danger of being canceled? Like, why would he say that, right? Which I thought, like, maybe he's just kind of being, like, maybe it doesn't have anything to do with anything. It's just kind of being silly because it's like a TV-themed Dark World. But I don't know. It's fun to think this, right? And more recently than that, Toby also teased that there was going to be a stealth section where they're, like, sneaking around. But he said that also got scrapped. However, in the latest trailer, there were some new screenshots, and that stealth section was one of them. So it wasn't scrapped.
So you don't think the Western...
And so everyone was like, maybe the Western one isn't scrapped.
Well, because, like, I think we talked about this before, but it would fit in the theme of the Western and the whole theme of the game, like, don't forget. Because the Western era, like...
The death of the Western.
Got canceled.
Right.
Kind of, you know?
Now... So, Toby Fox, in 2019, had been making edits of You've Got a Friend in Me. Hold on, I don't know why I'm laughing. So, you've been posting edits of You've Got a Friend in Me. I'm going to play this one for you.
Okay.
Because this is the most popular one that started the game people like thinking about this.
Oh, God.
Get ready. A friend inside me.
Oh, nice.
friend, and then they also have some other ones like I will never die, and like all kinds of weird, creepy things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know why he did that, but people have linked that back to the whole cowboy thing and being forgotten.
And saying I will never die.
Right.
I don't know.
So Woody from Toy Story was the main character in the TV show Woody's Roundup, a Western TV show that got canceled. Have you seen Toy Story 2?
Oh.
Interesting. Yeah, so people connected that to Jevil and Spamton. Another thing about the secret bosses is that their whole idea, like Spamton wanted to be free, right? He wanted to cut his strings and be free. He always talked about how he wanted to be freedom. He wanted the hyperlink blocks and all that stuff. Right. And so people think that this secret boss would want to be free because they can only say a set number. They call Woody when you pull the string, you only say a set number of things, right? So this secret boss has like a mic pack inside of a microphone inside of him. When he pulls it, he can only say a certain certain phrase, right? Okay. And that's why he wants to be free. That's another thing people have adapted into a lot of the fans ideas. Right. Yeah, so people like to think that this voice box is sentient, and it's like stuck inside him, friend inside me.
Yeah.
And it's a microphone. And this is another thing that this is part of the thing that I came up with. So this is like not even, this is me, right? So I'm getting crazy. I'm like got the tinfoil hat on, okay? So Spamton, I don't remember this, but there's this really iconic name drop where Spamton just like, he's like talking in his shop and he's just all of a sudden goes, we don't need Mike. And and you do?
Yes,
and his face goes all like weird and he goes like, Mike? Oh, yeah. And everyone's like, who's Mike? I think Mike is the name of the microphone that's in the Western guy character, the friend inside him.
Oh.
Yeah, Toby Fox is a very wordy guy, it seems. So
yes.
That would make sense.
He likes to like just make a lot of like I don't know how to say it. Like he likes to like make everything kind of connect together and has a lot of like little seeds he's planted,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like with the Gaster stuff, like, you know, it's just like there's all these weird little things that all kind of interconnect. Like he's in Deltarune, and we know that because of like some hint, like, so it would make sense. It would be really cool, but as it's gone on, I've kind of started to be like, I don't know if it'll be the secret boss because it's too it's too crazy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird that all those things connect, but like, again, the wording could just be like just him being silly, or like the friend inside me posts could just be him being weak. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be something, right? And also, I feel like it'd be really sad to be Toby Fox because everyone is just hyper analyzing everything he says all the time. Like every little thing he says, like a Deltarune hit. Like, you know what I mean?
You think is Toby Fox the kind of guy to like try and throw you off?
So a lot of people have that impression because of, like, you remember Undertale, like the whole like Flowey actually was the final boss. Like there's a lot of like twists like that, and people have adapted that to be like, oh, Toby Fox is just a troll, and like everything he says is like wrong, and he's out. But I think that just like having a fan base built on like distrust is kind of, I don't think that's his style, right? I think that people just really love to read into the things he says. I don't know if it's always like, you know, truthful, right?
I guess it's hard. It's less of him actively throwing people off and more people throwing themselves off.
Right.
Because they just look into everything
They've
says.
convinced themselves.
There's no way that he lives a lifestyle where everything he says has to mean something.
Right, I know.
So, yeah.
That's what's fun. Yeah, that's what I think about it. So yeah, and also because he said before that like the success of Undertale scared him so much because he thought it was just gonna be like a little niche indie game, but like it became one of those popular games of all time, and it scared him because like he was like, I just wish I could have people stop talking about it and like making all these like weird sans edits, like stop, you know what I mean? Because it was so like crazy and he couldn't control it anymore, right? That's kind of why I'm happy that Deltarune has a more niche, like I think a lot more people like Undertale than Deltarune. I think Deltarune is a lot less popular, which is fine because I think it's going to be a better game when it's over. Just, you know.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, because it's gonna be super.
So this one has a lot more stuff.
It's going to be so long. Like I'm going to have to sit down for like 24 hours and play the entire thing 1 to 7 one day, and like that's going to be a fun day. So overarching things. There's also in part of the legend of Deltarune, the legend that's in Deltarune, there is this entity called the Angel. Which is like this, you know, kind of, I know, yeah, that probably, you like that, right? Because you like demons and angels and stuff.
I wouldn't say that, but... Okay.
I mean, yeah, you watch all those shows and see all the movies.
Watched one show with the demons.
Supernatural.
Yeah, I watched one full show about that. And
Gabriel.
Yep, Gabriel.
Yep.
And God.
Who's that? Sorry.
Oh,
I forgot. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, so this is this idea, the angel, and people have thought like, oh, is the angel the player? Because like we're controlling Chris, so like Chris is like possessed by this entity that is like this god, and that's us, and that's why they rip their soul out at the end of every chapter because they like want to like break free from you know our control, which is another thing that people think Chris is going to be like a secret boss because they want to be free from our control or something like that, and like we're going to have to fight them. I don't even remember also the iconic opening of Deltarune where you think it's going to be character customizer and you like go through all the thing of making your character, and then like you give all its attributes, and at the end Gaster's like, but we're going to throw it all away and you have to be do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And that's another reason people think Toby's a big troll. But I think it's all for storytelling reasons. I don't think he's just like, get ready, you know what I mean? I think that vessel is going to come back.
Do you play Fortnite?
Oh, that was Everhood.
That would be really cool if once Chris breaks free, you do play as your
right.
original.
That's a popular theory too. You're already like in the mind.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. No, theorizing about Deltarune is really fun because it's so okay. No, here's another little thing. When people try to think about who the knight is or the roaring knight, and so this is a very hot topic. Because people think that Chris is the knight because they open a dark fountain at the end of chapter 2. Right. And for the longest time, I believed that. But now I kind of go back and forth. Because if Chris is the knight, that creates a really interesting, like, player versus player character, like dynamic, right? Like, the main antagonist of the game is the character we're playing as. Like, that's so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But also...
when it's like that.
I know, and it's almost never like that. Yeah. But also, people have pointed out that Chris opening a dark fountain doesn't make much sense because Queen and King both talk about how they met the knight, but they don't recognize Chris when they enter the Dark World. So that's kind of a weird thing. I think like maybe Chris was in disguise, had one of those like nose with a mustache and glasses on, maybe something like that.
That's how it works.
Right.
If I walked in here with a nose, and mustache, and glasses, you guys wouldn't know who I was.
Right. So that's people think that.
Because I definitely don't have any of those.
We
right
all
now.
have. Oh no, you don't have glasses.
You don't have a
It's
mustache.
just the way the shading looks in your eyes look like you have glasses. Haha.
And you don't have a mustache. I got all 3 components.
Oh,
You got
true.
2 of the components. You got 2 of the components, and you're missing one. I got all 3.
Wait, I have 2 of the components.
Yeah,
Nose.
the nose and the.
Oh, I got the
He's-
nose.
He's
So
got
you
the,
could be the Roaring
I would
Knight.
hope to.
he's got the nose and the glasses.
Wait.
I got the glasses, the nose, and the mustache.
That means Hunter is the Roaring Knight.
Yeah.
How did you know?
You agree?
I was born because Toby
Well,
Fox had a dream.
Then Voldemort would have 0 of the attributes needed for that.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's one of the big fan. You just killed the big fan theory.
How
Voldemort's
dare
not the Roaring
you?
Knight.
I thought he was the Roaring Knight. Now I
Yeah.
Avada Kedavra to that theory.
Oh,
Yeah.
darn it.
Well,
Yeah.
I had so much going on that too.
Yeah.
So much.
At any rate,
Betting
so
all the horses on that one.
and so there's like so many like characters in the light world, but there's so many of them that people have theorized could be the knight that at this point it could literally be any of them.
Right.
And I feel like in chapter 4 and 3 we're gonna learn more about.
Well, that's great though, because then it'll still be surprising when.
Right, yeah.
find out
It's not
who
like,
it
oh,
is.
I'll be okay. So if Chris is the knight, I'm happy. If it's someone else, that's fine too.
Do you think the Roaring Knight reveal is going to be like end of the game kind of thing?
I think it'll be chapter 5 because of
Chapter
chess
5.
theory. Because the next
Okay.
chapter will be the rook, which is Tenna, Mike. It's hard to explain, but it makes sense because there's a certain definition of a rook. And then there's the bishop, and then chapter 5 would be the knight. And then chapter
Right,
6 would be the
okay.
pawns, and then chapter 7 would be the grandmaster. And that's chess
would-
theory.
I'm betting on the chess theory.
Yeah, I hope
That
it.
sounds great.
Me too. Like it's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you because again, so we know the name of the next chapter boss is going to be called Tenna. Because they revealed that in the Spamton sweepstakes, which was amazing, just the greatest thing ever. There was a sweepstakes thing that had a bunch of little like it was a website that basically was like an ARG. You could click around, it's a bunch of like little secrets and stuff you could find, and they revealed the name Tenna.
Yeah.
Tenna is they're gonna be the name of the next secret boss, like Antenna, because it's a TV character,
Yes.
Tenna. And
Okay.
if you remember at the end of chapter 2, after Chris opens a dark fountain, there's a TV static with a smile on its face.
Interesting.
Mhm,
Got
mhm.
it. Okay.
So Tenna is gonna be but that's people are like, so how does that mean a rook? And so rook, another definition of it is like yep,
Which
is
one's the rook again on the chess?
the castle looking one.
Oh, right.
Which
okay.
my siblings and I we got a rook and a bishop, like decorative piece to put on either side of our TV for the new
Okay,
chapters, which I
cool.
think is a pretty cool one.
Yeah. Yeah.
What, you don't know what a rook is?
No, I was calling him an idiot.
Oh, you don't
I'm
know what a
joking.
rook? Do you know what a rook
Yes,
is?
it's a castle.
Have you ever played chess?
Yeah, no. Yes, actually, yes, I have.
The rook is the only one that I can remember what it looked like.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah.
Don't forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is
So
a rook again?
another definition of a rook is someone who like steals things or like is like kind of like embezzles, right? And
What?
He's just like me for real.
you're the knight and the rook.
Yeah,
Oh,
dang.
hunter theory.
Yeah.
Hunter theory.
Right up there with Woody theory.
yeah, yeah.
Don't kick me.
Sorry, I just was really mad at you for making all those dark fountains. Oh yeah, so another thing oh no, I'm not done explaining I'm getting off track. Okay,
You should
so
be happy that I made all those dark fountains. So we
yeah,
can talk about this.
I know.
Mhm.
So
So
why'd you kick me?
so the rook in Spamton's shop, he's talking about like Mike or something, and then he says, "Don't believe anything you see on TV. That man's a criminal. I tell you, a criminal."
Okay.
So people are like, "Oh, he's a criminal. He steals things. He's a rook." Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's interesting. Another aspect of the game I haven't touched on yet is something called the weird route, which we didn't get to play. But I don't know if you remember this, but do you remember Noelle? She's the deer. She's a deer. She goes into the dark world in chapter 2.
Vaguely.
Yeah,
I
and do you-
remember the name.
Do you remember Birdly? You have to remember Birdly.
think so.
Because we were clowning on him so hard. Because there was a whole section where he explained his backstory, and we were all like,
Oh,
"Stop!"
yeah,
Because it was
yeah.
so boring. Yeah, so and he's like a nerd. He's like a gamer or whatever.
Right, yeah, okay, I remember him.
Yeah, and then Noelle is like she's like a quiet little girl. She has a big crush on Susie, and it's like this cute
Yes,
dynamic.
Yes, okay, I remember.
And in the
Yep,
what?
Birdly.
Yeah. So and Noelle, yeah, thank you. Hunter is always our visual aid, by the way. In
Yeah.
these episodes, he always shows us what we forget. Yeah, look up Noelle Holiday.
I was already doing that.
Yeah. So Noelle Holiday in chapter 2, there's a point in the game where once you get her on your party, you can. And Toby has said the game only has one ending. Yep, that's her. The game only has one ending. However, there's another route you can do in chapter 2, where you get Noelle in your party, and you can manipulate her into killing all the monsters. Because you can't kill monsters yourself, but she has a spell that can freeze them. Or not the monsters, the Darkners, excuse me.
Okay.
She has a spell that can freeze them.
Okay.
So, you go around and freeze every monster in the area, and then the music gets distorted, and then you like force her to do your like every time she asks a question, you just say proceed, and she does these things, and she gets like scared, and then like she kills people, but then like she slowly gets stronger and stronger, and then she gets more confident in herself.
Right.
And this all culminates in her killing Birdly, and then Birdly's dead in the light world.
Okay.
And so people have been wondering, what effect is that route gonna have in the rest of the game? Like if Birdly's dead, what does that mean? So right now he's just locked in the computer lab. A dead body is locked in the computer lab.
So is this canon or is this an alternate?
This is an alternate route.
Okay.
I mean, it's.
So does it happen even if you don't do that route? Technically, is what I mean. Like,
no, the only way to kill Birdly is to manipulate Noelle into killing him.
Okay, so it's an alternate like kind of ending.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, but it's not an ending.
Right.
It's just an alternate
ending of
right.
the chapter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
I mean, it could just be like what's it called? The other Undertale. It could be like Undertale, where if you do certain things, the ending will be different.
Right. That's what people think. But Toby Fox has said the game only has one ending.
Oh.
So
well,
what that means is one ending ... question mark. So what that means, people have been theorizing, maybe like no matter what our actions are, we always get the same like image at the end or something, or it's like the result is always the same even if we get there in a different way.
Right.
Stuff like that. There's also this theory that's all going to end in the time loop, and like the angel's going to come down and reset everything. It's crazy. I could probably talk for like 7 hours about all the because there's so many theories and there's no way to be able to cover them all. I think I covered the big ones though. Woody theory is definitely my favorite because it's just so cool.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of like ideas. People have like a Western boss fight, like.
I think the chess theory is the most plausible. Really.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like, I think it makes the most sense. But yeah,
it's really interesting.
A lot of good theories, yeah.
It's a really cool game. It's just
thinking about cards, but
what?
I was thinking about cards, but we already seen the chessboard inside the closet and stuff.
Yes, you're absolutely right. People have thought about that too. Like, why have we already seen? And we already fought these pawn enemies. I don't remember that either. The chessboard was in the first Dark World, but I think that's just maybe it's supposed to get us thinking about chess. Like that's supposed to be like an indicator, Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, in 2 days. So yeah, this video will be outdated by the time it comes out.
Yeah.
Because Chapter 3 and 4 will already have come out. But maybe somebody's like, man, I want to go back in time to when.
This game
like
these
to when
chapters didn't exist.
Yeah, and to like
when does the game come out?
Thursday.
I'll release it by Thursday then.
You will?
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll get an early release.
And call it like our final Deltarune discussion or something like that.
Okay.
And then say skip ahead for the Deltarune, but okay.
Yeah,
Skip to this timestamp.
Yeah.
You probably put a spoiler for Doom.
Oh yeah, I'll put spoiler. Yeah, spoiler warnings at the wazoo. There'll be one in the description. The title will be spoilers incoming. No, just kidding.
I'm trying to think if there's anything. Oh yeah, trying to think if
So-
there's anything else I can think of.
You just copy and paste everything I said as the title.
Yep.
That's what the title is. Just
Oh yeah,
everything
I remember where I
said.
was going now. Sorry, I got off track. So people think that in the other routes, and like as you go on with the Snowgrave or the weird route or whatever you want to call it, that you're going to get to manipulate more people. And we know that Toriel is going to be in the next Dark World because she was sitting in her chair when Chris made the Dark Fountain. So people think that you're going to use Toriel to kill somebody in the next chapter. Pretty cool.
Yep.
And the final thing I want to talk about is this thing that Rousey talks about called the roaring. When too many dark fountains are open and the land is covered in darkness, the roaring will happen, and these giant titans will emerge from the fountains and wreak havoc across the land. Yeah, I know, attack on them.
Yeah.
We have to attack on them. And so people think that that's how the game's going to end. So like people think that the night reveal is going to be in chapter 5, and the night wants to bring about the roaring for whatever reason, maybe to please Gaster, maybe the angel, who knows. I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, there's some. You know what? It's probably best to just cut it off because there's so much else I could talk about. But
Speaking of Attack on Titan, somebody needs.
well,
to watch
I
it.
told you I'm not going to be until after Deltarune.
You have a lot of stuff you need to do.
Yeah.
Red
Dead.
game play.
It's gonna play that game.
Play
that video game.
Yeah.
Game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a weird state in the day right now where I just had coffee, but I'm like still waking up, so I'm tired and energetic at the same time.
I'm surprised that you managed to process most of what I said, though.
No, yeah, a lot of it came back to me, and maybe I will replay the chapters on my own.
They're free.
They're
free.
They're free.
The first 2 chapters are free.
Oh.
In chapter 3 and 4, $25. But
That makes
if
me
you
want
get
to-
so you get chapters 1 through 4, the whole package, $25, and then all the other future chapters cost $0. So you get
What?
7 whole chapters for $25.
That's so generous. Is
In this
Toby
economy,
making
we're-
any money off of this?
Well, I mean, he's making that.
Does he need to?
$25.
Like,
I guess not.
yeah, the whole reason he's making this game is because it was his dream.
Well, you also
Right.
gotta remember he has merch and everything like that.
Oh yeah, I bought
True.
so much merch.
Yeah.
He's making money off of the merch. I don't think he's He's only doing 25, I think, for just because. Of
Yeah, you should if you. And again, it's kind of a time investment, but you should. I think chapter 1 is really short, and chapter 2 is. I think he said it might be the longest chapter, but he doesn't know anymore. But it's pretty long.
I think they might actually cost money. The reason why they cost money this time is maybe because of like the fee to like put it onto like consoles and stuff like that.
Right.
Well, also because he has to make money. Like he does have to make money. I mean, he's been working on this for like 7 years.
Yeah.
2018, chapter 1 came out.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
Or I could even just send you like a good recap video, but I think it'd be better just to play so you can like maybe you'll notice things and maybe you'll send your theories and.
I want a new big game of my own to come out. I want Silk Song to come out.
It'll happen.
I want Benny in the Cage to come out.
Excited.
Yeah. I know. Well, I mean, because it's like, yeah. This year is the big year for all of us because
I'm having fun playing through like my favorite games. Once I'm done with Red Dead, I'm gonna play through the GTA games again.
All of them.
Well, I've only ever played the story of GTA 5, and then I played some of 4, but I never got that far. So I want to play San Andreas, GTA 4, and then
the only one I've played is GTA 6.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
You went to
it wasn't worth the wait. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. All the aliens are just playing.
Yeah. But
yeah. So check out Deltarune.
Yes.
You should do that. Again, it's really not that big of a time investment. I'd say probably 3 hours max for both chapters. Unless you run in front of the secret bosses, then it's probably for you. It's gonna be.
I mean, I probably will. I have to redeem myself and be Juggle.
Yeah, like and spam to Neo.
Yes. I will.
It's important.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll see you on June 4th, Media Junkies. Enjoy
4th.
Deltarune.
Yes.
Stay ruined, Delta heads.
Yes.
Hawk of the Morning 2 Aladdin.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I hate you. Get out.
I should think of more things to say.
Yeah.
Luke, get out.
All right, the end. 3, 2, 1. Peace out, Media Junkies.